Welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket. We're here on March 22nd, Friday, and to my right, I got myself one and only Darby Thomas. Darby is a long jumper here at the University of Nebraska. She comes from Council Bluffs, Iowa. She currently is a senior. Dealt with some injuries in the past, so she has the same eligibility as me. So she has this year, next year, and we have a lot to talk about. Right now, I'm sitting right to my right. She's a Big Ten champion back in 2022, second-team All-American, and even back in 2020, she placed bronze. PRs in the long jump, about 6:54. And back in her high school days, she actually was the 100-meter hurdle state champion back in 2019 and a 3-time state champion in the long jump. So Darby, how do you feel about being on the podcast today, and how are you feeling about hearing those PRs, a blast from the past?
Ooh, I'm really excited, a little bit nervous, but those PRs is just kind of crazy to think that I'm come so far.
You came a long way.
Yeah.
I mean, I was asking you even beforehand too, like, are you even a multi? Because you do so many different events and stuff like that. Your career has been all over the place. So let's go ahead and just start things off by, kicking that off. First thing, talk about your upbringing and why the University of Nebraska.
Okay, so I am the youngest of 4. I have an older sister, 2 older brothers. I love them to death. My mom, my dad, grew up, my parents were divorced, but they created the best environment that they could possibly given the circumstances. I was given everything that I needed: club soccer, traveling, track, school. I was supported in so many ways, so I'm so blessed. But Nebraska, I only live an hour from here, and that's not really why I chose to come here. It was more so I didn't want to be surrounded by the same people that I grew up with going to Iowa or Iowa State. So I wanted a new experience, and regardless of how close it is, I met all new people, made all new friends, and just a great community.
Right, and you mentioned soccer. I completely forgot about this when I was doing my research on you, but you were an amazing soccer player back in high school. Why did you choose track over soccer?
I hate practicing soccer.
No way.
I hate practicing soccer. I just want to get in the game, and I want to score, and I want to pass the ball and run up the field. But practicing, doing little dribbles, and no, it's not for me.
No way.
No.
So let's talk scholarship-wise and recruiting. So obviously, Iowa State, it's your home state. Why the University of Nebraska? Obviously, you want a new experience, but with these marks, you could have gone a lot of places in the nation. Why Nebraska?
So I didn't really start my recruiting journey very early. I didn't know much about it. My brother was the only other athlete in our family who wanted to play college sports, and he went to Morningside, and that's where both my parents went and where they met, actually, which is really cute. But he stayed more local in NAIA than D1, so that's a whole new atmosphere. And not really knowing whether I wanted to do soccer or track in college at first was also kind of a big thing. So not too many schools really reached out to me. It was Iowa, Nebraska, Iowa State, and Minnesota.
Wow. And
UNO, but that would have been dual sporting with.
Imagine.
With
Why didn't you want to take on that thing? I know, the famous person I think of who is a dual sport athlete was actually Abby Steiner. Back in college, she was a dual sport, and then she ended up doing full-time just track. So why did you not want to do dual sport?
It wasn't that I didn't want to, but I think I just knew that my capabilities, I could fit in a higher D1 program than UNO. So.
Right. Well, you actually came to college in a very unique time period, with your freshman year being in 2020. And as I mentioned before, obviously you did take the bronze back in your first Big Ten championship, right? That was your freshman year back in 2020.
Yep.
So you took the bronze, and then the world kind of gets turned on its head right after that. You guys don't experience an outdoor season. Talk to us about that time period and what that transition was like from going to high school, being a state champion, coming to college in your first conference experience, placing 3rd, and then bam, 2021, 2020, that whole entire outdoor season is just chaos.
It was insane. So, I left high school just feeling great. I was a 100 hurdle champion. I was a long jump champion. I think I was
100-meter champion as well, right?
Runner-up.
Runner-up. Wow, snap. 11.8, which is zooming for a high school girl.
I know. Karis Roberts actually went to Purdue, and she's awesome. She beat me so many times in high school.
You still race her?
I haven't personally, but if she was at Purdue still, we definitely would see each other this year.
Imagine.
Yeah. But, so yeah, I was coming out of high school feeling really good, and I got to college, and, you're humbled a little bit as a freshman.
No doubt.
Coming in with all these people, 22-year-olds.
23-year-olds.
And I was, at that point, I was just 17, 18.
You were 17 in college?
I think so.
Wow.
So yeah, coming in, it was tough for sure, but the support, my freshman year was amazing. I had the best group of friends. I still do have the best group of friends, but we all really, we got it out the mud together. So
got it out the mud. I love that.
But yeah, so that first first year indoor was awesome. Just like a great experience. I mean, looking back, like my distances and my times were not good or trash compared to like what I ended up doing in my later years. But I mean, you all got to start somewhere. So
No,
that
100%.
3rd place medal definitely means more to me than that first did.
Yeah, especially you coming in as a freshman, and
Yeah.
then, like you said before, you're going against 22, 23-year-old girls, and next thing you know, you come out with the bronze in the entire Big Ten Conference. And to be to even get a medal in the Big Ten Conference is a huge accomplishment within itself. And so COVID hits, you obviously trained through because your next season was spectacular. Talk to me a little bit about your experience going into that season. I mean, were you expecting something big that season going into your training? Obviously, you were under Coach Pepin still at the time. Talk to us about your mindset leading into that 2021 season.
2021, that was a hard year just because the COVID restrictions made it so we could only compete within the Big Ten.
I meant 2022, actually.
2022?
Sorry. That was your
Oh.
Big Ten. That was like the big season. Sorry.
Yes, 2022. Oh, I was coming off of a regional appearance, not qualifying for nationals. I think they take what, top
It was in the 12, right? Or
Top-
12 or 16 or something
top
like
12, and I placed 16th. I jumped really well. I think I jumped 20'9", and that was like one of my PRs. I think that was my PR at the time, so
Wow.
I was not disappointed at all. I mean, I was proud of how far I came, but you know, that fall coming back and just knowing that I ended my season at regionals was insane. So I got in the weight room, I got on the track, I worked extremely hard. I mean, I was the strongest I'd ever been at that point, and I knew that that next season was going to be insane.
Right.
And, you know, it just so happened that it was. So,
So let's talk about that a little bit, right? So, I mean, you're going throughout your season, you pop a huge PR. I had it written down somewhere, 654, right? 654 at the Nebraska. Wasn't it the tune-up, right?
tune-up, yeah.
So the meet before the Big Ten Championship, you go 654, and you're feeling confident going into the Big Ten Championship, and then you win it with a 639. You're already qualified for nationals. Talk to us about your mindset at that Big Ten Championship. Obviously, you were ranked number 1 in the Big Ten going into the finals. Talk to us about your mindset. Are you a different person when you're in your competitive mode? I mean, how do you get locked in?
Oh man, I think the only thing I wanted the weekend before, like you said, I jumped 654. That's 21.5. I wanted to go 21
crazy.
feet so bad.
That would have been the school record.
Exactly. I wanted to go over 21.
You were close.
again.
It's 666. You're right there.
Third all time right now, and it's still stuck 2 years
Exactly.
later. But
Hey.
I wanted to go 21 so bad at Big Tens, and I knew that it was in me. And I think I ended up going. What'd you say? It was-
639.
Yeah, so that's 20'11". I was sick, but.
Hey.
I got a first place out of it, but I mean, locking in wise, I think what I really focus on is what I have done, how far I've came, and what I can do in the future.
Right.
I mean, it's nothing like, oh, like I have to do this, I have to do that. I've done that already.
Yeah.
I literally did it last week. I could do it again. Granted, I didn't quite make it, but I was on the path there. So that's really all it is for me, is just thinking about how far I've come and where I'm going.
And how that medal feel? That gold
Oh
medal, getting up
my
on stand, finally getting the gold, especially after that regional, obviously to make it to
Yes.
nationals. So you already marked your spot for nationals, and you got the Big Ten title. How'd that feel?
That medal felt amazing. I mean, like I said, it didn't mean as much as that third my freshman year, but it was dang near close. It was awesome just seeing all my hard work pay off. Like I said, I knew it in the fall that this season was going to be something different, and it really was for that indoor. So, yeah, it was awesome.
And then where was nationals at that year indoors?
Birmingham.
Birmingham.
Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about your national experience.
So it was my first ever nationals, and at this point I'm a junior because of COVID. So technically my third year
Time
of track,
flies.
right?
No way.
Right. Technically my third year of track, my first time ever at any national appearance, let alone indoor, which is the most competitive.
100%.
Most competitive.
Top 16
meet
in the nation for every
country.
event.
Yes. So I was shaking in my boots.
Really?
Yes, I was so nervous. I remember hearing that I was the first jumper.
What? Out of all those
Out
girls?
of all girls, I was the first jumper, and I just sat there in my room like I'm doing homework. I look at the heat sheets. I said, "Oh my gosh, like,
Man.
you've got to be kidding me."
Does that change things when you're the first jumper?
It does. I mean, it did for me for sure. I think it made me a little more nervous because, I mean, you're just the first one to go.
Right.
It was my first time there, but
Nerve-wracking.
nerve-wracking. Sitting in like the middle, what they take top 16. Sitting at like 8th is a good spot. Even
Right.
being last is a great spot because you can see what everyone else does before you. But you leading off is just a different feeling, especially never being there before.
Yeah.
But I did what I could. I did my best. I want to say I jumped like 20'5" or 20'2", 20'5", something around there. So I had a really good meet for what I'd done in the past, and I wasn't disappointed. I was just excited that I made it that far, and I did what I could. So. Yeah.
100%.
Second team All-American.
That's what I said. Second team All-American, especially after that regionals performance. You came back and you did what you set out. What you said you were gonna do. You went there. You qualified for nationals.
Yep.
Got a Big Ten title to your name.
Yeah.
And so you're entering out the outdoor season. And was your first meet Arkansas? Was that your first one out?
That was my.
So go ahead and tell the story to everybody. I hate to make you relive the moment, but
it's okay. So first meet outdoor was Arkansas. I had recently picked up triple jumping for God knows why.
Wait, you did? I did not know this. You did this in triple jump?
Yes. Keep in mind,
no.
Iowa doesn't have triple jump. So when you're like, at that point, I was 20 years old learning how to triple jump. It's kind of insane.
Yeah.
Like, that's not something you just pick up. And
no way.
So long jump went really well. Then we
But
got
you doubled that day after you just did triple?
No.
Imagine. So
long, then triple. It was raining. It was freezing.
Cold, right?
I had leggings on. I don't wear leggings, people. Like, it was insane. But
what?
So yeah, I go out. This is important to note. So in triple jump, they have 2 boards you can take off of. I want to say it's an 11-meter board and a 9-meter board. I usually pick the 9-meter board because it's closer to the sand, and I was only jumping 38 feet. Like max, maybe 39 on a good day. So I usually jump off that 9-meter board, but for whatever reason, they didn't want to like offer that option. So I'm jumping off an 11-meter board, and that's terrifying for someone who doesn't really do this event very often. So first one, take a hop, stop, and just run through it. I'm like, Coach, I don't feel good today. He's like, it's fine, just run through the board. Yeah, push through it, just run through the board.
Oh no.
I was like, okay. Second jump, I think I did it on the 3rd, but I don't quote me. It was pretty traumatic. Anyway, so whenever I went to tear my ACL, I run up, hop, jump. I don't think I'm going to make it to the pit, so I put my legs down, and I just land wrong on my left leg.
Man.
And I just go flying in the pit. And next thing I know, like, I have, like, trainers over me. I have my coach over me. I have Max over me. And everyone's just like, what's going on? I said, my knee. And I heard it, I heard it like pop, and I heard it pop again, and yeah. So they originally told me they had the Arkansas trainer come over because I think our trainers were back in the tent. Nope, one of our trainers was there. She gave me an assessment, and she said she thinks that I dislocated my knee, and it went back in, and that's the 2 pops that I had heard. Well, that's kind of what I was hoping for because that's a much longer or shorter recovery than an ACL tear where I would have been back before outdoor Big Tens.
Right.
So that's like a 1 month,
Just about
6 weeks-ish
barely.
recovery. So that's what I was really hoping for. But I get an MRI when we get back that Monday, and then I get told that I tore my ACL. And not only did I tear it, I like shredded my knee.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was like ACL, meniscus, LCL,
Everything possible
in there
was just popped.
was just gone. So, yeah.
And so that happens, right? You get humbled. And so talk to us about just the emotional toll and just like all the feelings and like raw emotions right after that moment.
Oh my gosh. I just remember like being so mad. And I'm not a person who really gets mad. I say I have a pretty even temperament, or I'm generally happy, but
Right.
I was so mad. I was mad at my coach that I told him, I was like, I'm not feeling this. And he had me do it anyway. I was mad that I didn't listen like to my own body and just pull myself out, which is heavily frowned upon, but like I maybe should have just done it.
Exactly.
I was mad that the trainer at Arkansas like misdiagnosed me and got my hopes up that I would be back in like 6 weeks and be ready for Big Ten outdoors. I was mad at the doctor who told me that I tore my ACL. I'm pretty sure I was mad at the world. Like I was like, why?
Respectfully,
me?
you had the right to be though. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. But after all that mad came and gone, I kind of just sat in there and I was thinking like, I have a lot of faith that this is happening for whatever reason. Like it's supposed to happen. So that was really the next step, and then just looking forward to all the stuff that I had to do to get back. And it was a really, really long road, but
How long? Was it a year?
it was a year and a half.
Man.
At least, yeah.
And so what kept you going throughout that entire year and a half? I mean, obviously you're chasing your old self. You're trying to get back to who you used to be, right? And what kept you motivated throughout the entire year and a half of just training and trying to rehab and get back to it?
I think what kept me motivated was what I had wanted to prove to myself, because like we said, I just came off this incredible indoor season and I was so ready, and I knew the fall before that I was going to have a great year, and I think I just I wanted to prove to myself that like I could get back to that, and I deserved to get back to that. I owed it to myself to like get back up there. So that's where all the hard work's been going to this day, still today.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I just want to be back there.
Literally. And you, like I said, I mean, I forgot to mention this too as well. I mean, during your process, you did end up switching knees and legs throughout your triple jump process. I'm sorry, not your triple jump, your long jump process and everything. How was that, and how you been handling kind of that switch?
Yeah, so I jumped off of both a little bit in high school, so I really didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal. But it's been really difficult, I won't lie. I mean, strength-wise, it makes the most sense. Like, my left leg is still pretty scrawny, and,
right.
you know, compared to my right. But, like, technique-wise, it's really hard. I've been training my body to do everything off my left. Like, from the way I take off the board to the way that I'm in, like, floating in the air to the way that I'm landing and pulling my legs up is all based off my left leg. So just, like, relearning that has been the most difficult part. But, you know, it's all a process, and it'll get there if it's supposed to, so.
Would you compare it to having to switch, like, your writing hand, in a sense? Or is it even more difficult than that, you think?
Yeah. I think that's probably what I would say. Yeah.
Snap. So you relearn this whole entire process, a year and a half recovery. Let's go into, obviously, your pastime activity. So, I mean, while you're recovering, you still have to go on with school. You do have extra eligibility after the injury. Your major, you are an elementary education, correct? Mm-hmm. And so you teach up in Omaha. Talk to us about that process and how, you know, you took some time away from track, focus on yourself, focus on your career. I mean, how did that go?
I'll probably say that focusing on my education was what really got me through the whole process. I decided to go to Omaha to student teach that fall. Typically, like, when you're student teaching, you'll stay, like, in the area. But I just knew that I needed to get out of Lincoln for a little bit. I mean, being surrounded by all my teammates and my friends and the people, like, I love getting to do what they loved, and I couldn't. It, like, really hurt me a little bit. But I think that separation is really what got me through it. I met some incredible people, some incredible teachers. Like, I loved my student teaching experience, all my kids and the staff and the people that I worked with. So I would say that's, like, definitely what got me through the hard fall, where everyone else was in fall conditioning, getting ready to go, and I was just kind of working and rehabbing, and yeah.
Let me ask you, what actually motivated you to begin student teaching? Is that something you've always wanted to do since you were a little girl, to grow up and be a teacher?
Oh yeah, I always wanted to be a professional babysitter when I was little, and I found out really quickly that that's not an actual job. So,
I mean, it could be if you have the right person. I mean, if they're paying you bankroll.
Yeah, if you're a nanny, but yeah. So teaching was what I'd always wanted to do, and, you know, I just fell in love with education and being in the classroom. I was a teacher's pet, as you can imagine, helping my peers learn and, you know, following rules and all that stuff.
That's awesome. That's awesome. No, I love that for you, honestly. Knowing your career path as a college student, most of the time you change your major multiple times. But knowing, since you were like a little girl coming up to college and, like, sticking to that career path, it's easy for you because you've been so passionate about it for so long, and probably on your parents without having to call them every other weekend, like, yo, I'm switching my major again. Like, that's honestly a big problem. So that's good that you figured that out, especially with your injury too. Given all the craziness going on, it probably was just good to just take your mind off of that, and you're changing lives with little kids too. I mean, that's, like, the best part about it. Like, they're gonna grow up and be like, Mrs. Thomas, like, she was the coolest teacher back in the day.
And the funniest thing is whenever Niko sees me, he calls me Miss Thomas.
I do that?
Yes.
No way. I just called me out. I did not even realize I did that. Like a student or something. No way. Let's go ahead and jump into something else, actually. What is something that others don't know about you as an athlete? It could be as an athlete or actually as a person, whatever the case may be for you.
Okay.
What's, like, a fun fact?
Oh, let's see, a fun fact.
It could be something completely random. Like, it could be, like, it can even be a superstition in a sense. Like, if you put, like, one shoe on or one sock on at a time, or if you have some type of ritual you do before your competitions.
Okay, yeah, so I've worn the same jersey since freshman year. and we get, well, the same
You get
two
new ones
jerseys.
every year, right?
We get new ones every year, but I've worn the same jersey since freshman year, and I'm a 5th year. So,
Oh, snap.
that's, yeah.
You can do it next year too when you're a 6th year?
Probably, shoot, if it
What's
works
the mindset
out.
behind that? You're just like, man, I went crazy in this jersey before. It's bound to happen again.
Yeah, the magic's in there somewhere. Like, he's got to come out at some point.
You gotta like
again.
tug it or something. Like, come on, give me something.
Yes.
What do you think is the funniest thing that happened to you during a competition? It could be in high school. It could be currently. It could be when you first started running track.
Oh, during a competition?
Like, have you like fell or like something like mad embarrassing?
I'm trying to think.
If you need me to go first, I can go first. It actually had
Do
nothing to do with track. It happened in basketball. I was in 7th grade. I played basketball. That was like the big thing to do. And I was trash at basketball, by the way. Like, I'm sure I was running past the ball because of how fast I was.
That's
like,
what I used to
bro,
do
you
too.
did the
I
same
had
thing?
to quit because I couldn't stop doing it, and I was in high school. It was getting embarrassing.
Bro, yeah, it was. I did the same thing, right? I quit. I was too fast for the ball. Too like I just couldn't understand the pacing of the game. But one day I'm going over for a layup, right? I'm on the B team, right? The A team already played, so all the dudes are on the benches gassing it up, and I'm going over for a layup. And bro, like he didn't foul me, but he kind of like tugged in my jersey. So like I was trying to get a flop. Like, I was trying to do like an and one, right? So he's pulling me as I'm in the air. So I'm going up for a layup like this. Like I'm a big like Steph Curry fan, and you know how he does like this layup where he like throws it high in the air, right? Yeah. So like I'm trying to go for one of them Steph Curry layups. I'm getting pulled, and like the ball slowly comes here to this, right? And so I'm in the air. I'm like this, oh, and there's cheerleaders. Like, can I get an A? Can I get a B? Right? And so I'm like, oh, like I throw it as hard as I can, trying to draw a foul, and like the force and the velocity of the ball went so fast and perfectly to this girl's head, and she wasn't even looking. She's like, this is boom, and it hit her so hard that she fell. She literally fell. Yes, bro, she fell, and the whole crowd, oh, everyone on the bench is laughing. Both the coaches are laughing. The refs are laughing. Like, it was one of the most embarrassing moments. And you know the worst part was? I turned it over. It wasn't even a foul. It was just a pure turnover, bro. Whip it, bro. Hits her in the face. She has an ice pack, bro. Black eye.
No
I still feel bad to
way.
this day, bro. But, like, everyone still brings that up and talks about that.
No way.
So if you can top that story.
I don't think I can top that story at all.
Sorry for the cheerleaders out there, for real. My fault. I still
If
feel
you're
bad about that.
watching, Niko apologizes.
I do, bro. My hooper dreams fell through, for real. I'm not a hooper.
He said I'm not a hooper.
I could not hoop, for real.
Oh God, I still can't think of an embarrassing moment. You know, I've been like
No, that's
on
fine.
a soccer field. I've been flipped, like tripped and flipped. I've, you know, doing a PK.
Something tells me you just go for it, bro. Like there's some athletes that just kind of like they some athletes think too much, and other athletes they just see and go. And I feel like you're one of the athletes that just see and go.
Absolutely, that's why I love soccer too, because I could do whatever I wanted out there.
You're just running.
I was not afraid of a
freelancing.
card at all. Yeah, give me that yellow.
That's where the money is, though. Soccer, for real.
No, it really is. I should stuck.
Okay, we're not gonna pull that card. We're not gonna. Right. Let's go ahead to wrap this podcast up. Let's talk about your future goals and aspirations. It could be on the track. It could be with your career. What is something that you want to accomplish before your time here at Nebraska's up?
Dang.
It's deep.
That's deep. We're getting deep.
Out the mud. For real.
I think I don't know if I really want to accomplish like a distance or a time. I think I just want to, in my heart of hearts, just be content with what I've done here, whether it be on the track, whether it be like in school or, you know, in different groups. Like just be happy with like the impact that I left or the mark that I made. I know even something small was one of our teammates. She'd torn her ACL and she was like working on getting back to recovery, and she asked me like how my journey was, and just being able to talk and sit with her and, you know, explain to her that it's going to be hard but it's worth it, and just like her thanking me and telling me that I helped with her mindset. Like something small like that just made me feel really good and really content with, like, even though I've gone through stuff at the school, other people are going to go through similar things, and being able to help them out and make them feel more comfortable or more accepting of the fact that like you're not alone is something that I would take pride in. So
That's huge. That's huge. That's actually going to lead me into my next point, your overview of your career. But I mean, it seems like you like knocked it out of the park. I mean, your purpose probably isn't throughout a distance or a certain mark, and I'm not going to write that off. I mean, you still have a chance to obviously go with that 6'6" to 21 feet, right? But I mean, like, you being able to help people and like share your journey, like, think about how cool it'd be if, you know, this outdoor season or even next year in your final year, where like you have like another like blowout year or something that like you could never even imagine, right?
Exactly.
On the opposite leg.
Right? That would be insane.
You never know. You never
never
know.
know.
Exactly. And so, Darby, with that final statement being said, is there anything else you want to tell the fans or the people out there? If somebody wanted to be in your position, or even let's take this route, advice for other athletes who are going through something similar. Let's say they were doing super well and then they had an unexpected injury and they're currently battling through that. What advice would you have for them?
Okay, this is going to be tough, but you're not going to be the same athlete that you once were. But that's not to say that you can't be better in different ways. Like, I will probably never have the same fire as I was like before I tore my ACL, but I'm gonna. Sorry, let me correct my speech.
She was getting fired up about it.
As an educator, I'm going to have a new fire as the athlete that I'm becoming, the athlete that's jumping off her right leg, the athlete that's now sprinting on the track when I haven't done that in years. Like, you're not going to be the same person, and that's perfectly fine because you're not supposed to be. You're supposed to grow, you're supposed to develop and, you know, change and evolve. So yeah, just be willing to accept the new athlete that you're becoming and all that you have coming in your future, and not focus on the past where it may be great, you're going to be doing even better things.
Preach. 100% preach. I was actually injured my freshman year as well too. Not to your extent. I was out for like 4 or 5 months, but I had a fracture in my leg, and I saw you killing stuff on the track, and or killing stuff in the long jump pit, and I'm just like, bro, like, dang, I gotta get up there. I gotta get like her, and then I saw her get hurt too. I'm like, oh snap,
she just got like me.
No, she doubled down, or actually tripled down. But then now we're both back, obviously doing our thing and trying to make way. But Darby, thank you so much for being on this podcast. You absolutely killed it. And to all the fans out there in 93.7, go ahead and follow Darby's journey. If you can follow her on Instagram, I'm pretty confident it's just her name, Miss Thomas.
Miss
And
Thomas.
yeah, thank you guys so much, 93.7 The Ticket, and I'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.